Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Thursday morning and Ken versus 10. I am Ken, SSK promo, Mr. Bill, and another day, another Thursday. Can't believe it's Thursday again already. And going to do Ken versus 10 here, where I list 10 items on this show, usually about in an hour, and I see how many of those items can sell before next week. So, got a few folks that were in the chat already. Heavy hello to Sal's Mercado. Oh, right behind Commonwealth Hudson back here. I'm here with the listing crew always. Commonwealth Hudson, Fleet Frank, the Mr. Bills, FJ Mac, and Old Scream Flips. But I got my Sal's Mercado tape dispenser. Oh no. I keep that back there. And we got Grams and Pops. Grams and Pops Vintage. Corey checking out. He's got the coffee on and ready to go. Hey, Corey, I enjoyed watching your videos of the storage unit that you bought, your first storage unit, and especially the way that you edited. How do you say that? Edited it. Just kind of with the fast motion in between and then stop on an item that you're looking at, fast motion. Some storage videos you can see where they're just going through every box. It's painful and slow, but really, really like the editing on that video. So on Thursday mornings, I like to send out offers right away before I get into anything with my day. I've been sending out offers pretty regularly, so I only got about 5 to send today. Going to do a 10% off. Most everything is already on a 20% sale. So we will hit those offers right here. See if maybe we can sell one of those things while we're on the show. And so, what do I got going on here first? Going to be listing some vinyl albums today and going to talk about that, how I do it, what I do. I'm not an expert in any of this stuff, just kind of show you what I'm doing and what's going on. And there must be Jimmy from the Reseller Clickbait podcast, Jimmy Old School Flips. I never said I liked Jimmy's editing. No, I have not. I've complimented you in the back on things, kind of behind the scenes about stuff. Jimmy's got a lot of good content over there at Old School Flips. And you should put out some more videos, Jimmy. Haven't seen much content lately. And there's my mother. Good morning, neighbor. My mom and pop next door watching. They have an event to go to today, so they're going to check in the rest of the show later. And Jimmy is saying, oops, that's better. Old School Flips right there. But we got a plug in for the show, the Reseller Clickbait podcast that comes out every Monday morning at 11 a.m. If you haven't checked that out, go check it out. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. And if you're here, hit a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. So, how did I do last week? I sold 5 of the items. I tied with my death pile last week. So that wasn't bad. I'll take a tie. 5 items that sold within a week. And I pop them up here on the screen real quick just to show you what I sold. Actually, right after the show ended, I sold these weird wheels trucks right here for $37.49. I got these free in a private pick. I sold this green dune buggy. I took a best offer for $14. That was listed for $15.99. And this little wooden blimp also took a best offer at $10. I sold these Build-A-Bear clothes. Now, I had talked last week about if you sell Build-A-Bears and they come with clothes and the clothes are not like specific to the doll, take them off. Take off those clothes, sell the doll separate from the from the clothing, and these sold for 11.99. And then just yesterday, to tie me up at 5 to 5, I sold this vintage '57 Chevy. It was an old phone, push button phone. Sold that for 20 bucks. So that I paid $2 for at a yard sale. So I that was a good week. I'll take a tie on Ken versus 10 every week. Ray is here. He's lurking, just FYI. Oh, I'm gotta mind my P's and Q's. Hey Ray, I want to hook up with you soon about talking about some travel plans later in the year for some events. FlipCon and such. We had kind of touch base. Yes, we have a podcast meeting this evening. Hey, thanks, Jimmy. I'm usually reminding you. That's at 9:30, Jimmy, PM Eastern time, so 7:30 your time. We will be hooking up and talking about what shenanigans we're gonna do this week. Um, but along those lines, Ray, of travel and stuff, I'll give a little plush update. For those of you who've been following along, you probably know this, but anybody that might be in the chat, um, I designated my plush category because I have a lot of plush as a travel fund, and I'm doing January, February, March of this year to see everything that I sell from that plush category goes just into a separate travel fund. And it's been going pretty decent. I had a goal of I'd like to sell at least $100 worth of plush each month, each of those 3 months, and I've been doing different things in that category. I kinda list regularly so that the algorithm says, "Hey, this is an active category." I've been running different sales. I ran a 50% off sale and then a normal 20%. Now this week, I'm at a 40% sale, and the sales have been, uh, pretty decent. A lot of times plush, unless it's, like a really popular thing, can be pretty long tail, which means, it takes a while to sell it. But over the last week, and I do my records from payday to payday. I get paid on Tuesdays from eBay. I'm sure most of you probably do that weekly payout. And so last week I sold 6 plush. I made a total of 39.74 on that, which wasn't a very good average sale price, just about $6.60 each. That was a 40% off sale. But currently, I made $117 in January, and so far this month, I am at $81.31, and so we're only about halfway through the month, so I will most likely hit my goal of $100 for this month. On total, I have $199.09 that I've sold altogether. Uh, are the boys from the Reseller Clickbait podcast and This Week in Reselling podcast gonna live together? That sounds like a great sitcom. Yes, I can see some great content, and that's what I want to talk to you about. So maybe later this afternoon when you're home from your regular 9 to 5 job, if you want to hit me up, maybe we'll talk a little bit about some stuff that's coming up. Did I sell enough plush to get your Vegas tickets yet? They released to the Discord yesterday. No, I don't know what the tickets are for the show or for the actual event. We've been waiting for that, and I'm not a member of the Discord or the Patreon and all of that. So hopefully they reserve enough tickets for those of us that are not partaking in that. But yeah, we're finding out. Jimmy and I have been talking about that, heading out to the Trash to Cash meetup that's in Vegas in April. And so definitely want to hit that. And that's what my first travel plans are those plush sales plus I'm going to have a yard sale to clear out a bunch of like either dead stock or just inventory that's not really good that I'm going to list. And I'm going to do that probably mid March to make a little money for the trip as well. Uh, you guys could meet up at 9:30 Eastern. Oh yeah, there you go. Ray, we'll throw you a link to our conference chat if you want to, 9:30 Eastern time tonight, and we can kind of kick around some of that stuff. So, yeah, I tied last week 5-5. We showed that, got the plush update in, and so I sent my offers already. So we're off and running here on the show already. Um, we are not Discord members, so we may not be invited. That's a pretty good chance that the trash cashers don't want uh the Reseller Clickbait podcast to show up, but we're going to crash the thing anyway. Whatever the event, we're maybe making a plan just to go to Vegas anyway, even if we can't go to that main event. But I'm going to be there if I'm crashing the doors or if I, purchase my ticket like everyone else. I'll buy extra tickets and resell them to you guys. Ooh, Corey getting into the scalping game over there. There's a new avenue right there. Hey, do you got any Taylor Swift tickets by any chance? I hear those are really hard to get these days. Lots of lawsuits going on around that. So let's get into listing something. Today, I'm going to list a bunch of vinyl albums, or not a bunch. I'm going to list a bunch. I'm going to list, but at least 10. All of these came from either things that I bought or naturally from Jill, who it seems like I get most everything in my inventory from Jill, either from her basement or things that she is finding out when she goes sourcing as well for me, and she hits up thrift shops in different areas and yard sale season, garage sale season. She's hitting all of that. So one would think if they watch this show every week that I don't actually know how to like pick, that I don't know what to buy or what's out there. Because a lot of those sales that I've been listening to have been from a private pick that I made from a buddy that had invited me over, and I've got a whole bunch of stuff from him. Well, some of the sales this that I had this week were from him. These cars right here, and this car, and this blimp. So three of my 5 came from that private pick. So I decided next week's show, I'm going to list only items that I have actually, whoop, wait, I left that thing on there. Only items that I have picked myself and bought, and to show that, hey, Ken can pick too. I know what I'm doing out there a little bit. I'm, same as everybody else. Sometimes you're limited in your area to what you find. You see some guys that just find tons of great stuff all the time. When yard sale season, garage sale season is up, I can find a lot of really good deals myself. Good morning, Meg. How are you today? The lilac seller or lilac seller. She has apparently a purple basement at her home. The lilac seller. Good morning, Meg. So albums, vinyl. That's what I'm working at today. And I got this one stack right here just to kind of show some of the things. I had a whole like a milk crate or a whole crate full of albums that Jill had actually got from a friend of hers that gave them to her. She actually gave them to her to do like crafty projects with. You know how like they melt down albums and make little bowls out of them, or they'll use them for background on plaques and stuff. And I'm like, no, let me take a look at those. And speak of the angel, and there she is right there. Good morning, Jill. Hopefully your morning is going well. I was just saying that the albums or the vinyl that I listed today, most of them came from from you and most everything. It seems like, yeah, there we go. Jill is the real MVP. Most of the time, the things that I list here, well, a lot of that has to do with where it is position wise. She gives me all the stuff every time I go over, and so it's kind of first up in garage. I need to dig down deeper in the pile to get to the stuff that I have picked, and so I'm doing that next week's show. All Ken picked items. Um, 2 sales since the start of the show. Keep talking, Ken. P.S. Both items Teresa picked. See, there you go. That's what happens. It's the ladies in the background that are doing the picking. Paul, Philly Flipper. Did I write Jill a poem for Valentine's Day? You got to check out last week's reseller draft or the Monday night draft. It was on Ray Nashville Flippers channel with Paul Philly Flipper, and they had on Angie Resells and Kristen, a rural squirrel from the Let's Do Lunch podcast, were on there, and they were doing the worst Valentine's gifts. And somebody had brought up, a poem, writing a poem or a song, and Paul thought that was a great idea, a heartfelt poem or a song. Which Jill saying, yeah, it started out there once was a man from Oh, we doing this again, Paul. There once was a man from Nantucket. We're just gonna stop right there. We can edit that later on. Lisa and the Cult Jam right here. What was the big song from that? All Cried Out was a big one. I don't know. I always liked Lisa and the Cult Jam. It's about a $20 album when I'm looking at. So all the ones I'm showing today are the ones that either have some sort of a story or are a little bit better albums. But all of these albums, some of the jackets have a couple of rough places or whatever on them. But the vinyl itself, they're all in very good, I would say very good to very good plus condition. Uh, They have spoken and they love poems. Yeah, I'm gonna spoil my vote. I actually voted for Ray's column this week. Ray doesn't always get my vote every week, but I kind of felt his list was solid and strong. So go check out that replay, hit the community page on Nashville Flippers and vote who you think had the best worst Valentine's gifts. Jill did that in voice text. I really can't spell. No, it's yes. So this album right here, about $20 right there. So I like that one. So here's one I want to talk about. Good old Phil Collins, No Jacket Required. Susudio. One of the big songs. What else? I don't know. Susudio was a big hit on the. Now, this particular album, when I do the comps on it, it is only about maybe $5 to $10. I usually try not to list any albums that are less than $10. And if I get a whole lot of them at a yard sale, a lot of times, you're just buying everything that they have. And I'll go through, I'll pick out, cherry pick the good ones, and the rest of them then I will put back on the yard sale and, sell them out for $1 a piece or something like that. Even if they're good titles but I try to keep that down to about or try to keep it at about $10. But this one is only about $5 to $10. And the reason that I'm going to list this one is because it seems to sell like every day. One or two or three every day. So it's going to be a quick mover, I believe. And again, the jacket got a little bit of ring wear. Some of those things are what you're looking at when you're looking at the covers, is what condition that they're in, uh, what condition the inner sleeve is in. This one has some the song tracks and stuff, but the albums that were in here, man, they're just, you probably can't see that, but they're just beautiful. No scratches. Um, but what I like to do with that as well when I'm working with albums, uh uh-oh, Ray is in last place again. Uh Roses are red, violets are blue. Ken versus 10 is the live show for you. I might make that my new moniker on there. I like it. See? Paul is a wordsmith from, from way back. Any gal would be lucky to get a love poem from Paul. Kristen came to play that night, brought wine and a whole book of crowd sourced items. Yes. And a whole book of crowds. Yeah. Both her and Angie were prepared for that, ready to go. They had lists, they had charts, they had graphs. Angie had stuff pulled up on her phone so she could show. It was very entertaining. Those two ladies are always fun. And of course, Ray and Paul together is always a good time. And Paul, the flippin' sports guy, wants to know, people still write poems? Hey, if you're from Philly and you're just a romantic, a hopeless romantic love machine like Paul Philly Flipper, you're still out there. You're trying to swoon the ladies with some poetry. Uh, we can hire Paul to write poems for you. Hey, see there again. Got Corey over there scalping tickets, and now Paul's going to write poetry. He can just sit out on the beach now there in Florida and write love poems all day. Sell those on eBay or wherever one buys. Where do you buy poetry? Where would you buy it? That's probably like a direct marketing thing. Um, Aerosmith Classics Live. Look at that. That's still got the original plastic. It's not sealed. About 15 to 20 bucks on this one right here. And it's a pretty decent seller as well. So on the albums, I talked about, the good condition that they were in. I don't know. Did the poems cause a few restraining orders, and that's why Paul took off to Florida? That could very well. There may be a backstory that we're just not hearing. Of course, you got to go back and watch some of Paul's videos. Paul Philly Flipper, just so you know why he moved to Florida, why Sasha is not with him, and no, he is not changing his name to the Paul the Florida Flipper. For the love of God, quit asking him. Anyway, the albums are in pretty good condition. Most of the ones, if I'm going to sell like a 15, 20, 30, and up album, I'm going to take some extra care with that, and I'm going to clean them up. Any albums, I'm going to wipe off any surface dust, any fingerprints that might be on them. But a good album, I'm going to kind of deep clean it. I had bought this record cleaning little device here, and it came with some fluid, and you drop some fluid in there. It gets the little scrungy thing wet. And right back there behind the Mr. Bills, Old Screen Flips is sitting on top of it. It's an old record player, and if I am suspect about any of the records, plus some of them are just cool, I just like to listen to them, I'll play them a little bit, but I basically am using the turntable part to spin the record so I can run the brush on there and clean off the album, just to get it nice and bright and shiny for if someone buys it or for photographs. Sometimes I take photographs of just the front and back of the jacket. If there's something cool on the sleeves, I take inside sleeves like this album here. The Motels, Little Robbers. Um, what was the big Suddenly Last Summer by the Motels? This one came out, oh, I don't know when it came out. I can't read. But if they have a cool, interesting inside sleeve, I'm making sure that I'm taking pictures of that. Noting all the condition, I have my own condition notes that I put in my listings. I use a template, one of the eBay templates when I list my records. That has all the information already in there. It makes it really quick for me to go through albums rather than doing a sell similar on them. I usually have my template up, and then I'll have another screen that has where I'm doing my sales comps on it, so I know what pricing. But if I did a sell similar, some people, the way that they describe stuff, I find myself changing more stuff than if I just start blank from my template, throw my photos in there, go down through, kind of fill in the blanks. But this Motels album, it's just kind of cool. It's only about maybe an $8, $10 album. Um, but I'm probably going to sell that one. But I like to clean them up. I like to make sure that stuff is looking good um, in there. And then what else do we got here? I don't know if this is interesting to anybody, but this one right here, Rick James. I'm Rick James, bitch. Greatest hits right here is a really neat looking album. One of the higher value ones in there. This should go about 35, or the last sold comp that I saw was like 34.99 on this. There's not many listed and not many sold. It's about maybe, almost 100% sell through rate. Um, but it's a good solid $25 for sure album, the Rick James Greatest Hits. Let's see what else here. Janet Jackson, Control, Nasty. No, my first name ain't Baby. It's Janet, Miss Jackson if you're nasty. About $10 for that right there, and a pretty decent seller. Yeah, Dave Chappelle. I'm Rick James, bitch. Um, what else do I got here? So all of these actually, I was going through all the albums. I still have to list all of these today, and I'm going to pick like the 10 best out of these and get them listed today. So I'm not actually pushing the button right now on the show. I just thought I'd talk a little more about albums and vinyl. And you're finding, of course, you got this one back here, the Frampton Comes Alive back here. That's not a very high dollar album, but I think it's at every single yard sale. You could go to a yard sale where all they're selling is like, they got toys and they got, kitchenware and glassware and stuff. And then for some reason they have a Frampton Comes Alive album. It's like the only one there out on the table. I think they used to just give those away. They were like the original AOL disc where, if you bought like a package of toilet paper, there was an AOL disc in there. Back in the like 70s, you got a Peter Frampton Comes Alive album with any purchase. Bruce Springsteen, Tunnel of Love. Um, that was probably the biggest hit from that one. But $10 on Bruce Springsteen right there should go for. Oh, this was a great album. Yes. Oh, so when I went to search it, so this is 90125. Yes is 90125. When I went to search, being on the East Coast, when I do like my flat rate shipping and I'm looking up the value of shipping, I always use a zip code 90210, which is Beverly Hills, because that's a zip code that I know that's across on the West Coast. Yes, it's actually at every thrift and estate sale too, the Frampton Comes Alive album. But, yes, so when I went to search for this, I typed in "yes 90210," and I wasn't getting it's like, I think I would see more than this, and of course, this one came up, and then it's like I got to look, "Oh, wait, shit, it's 90125." Oh, I should probably not say that. But, this was a great, "Owner of a Lonely Heart," "Hold On," um, this was just a good album, and it's about 10 to 15 bucks. Little bit of condition issue on the cover right there. Slight ring wear. Yeah, and that right next to the Engelbert Humperdinck's, Connie Francis is in there a lot, I see. But, man, this album is just beautiful. The vinyl itself, some people are buying them for the cover art, depending on what they are, and some audiophiles are now looking for, to play vinyl. Vinyl is very popular, and it, they're buying it to play the album, to listen to it, and they're not overly as concerned with the condition of the jacket. So, there's all different types of reasons that people are out there buying vinyl, and when I ship my vinyl now I ship when I ship my vinyl, make sure to enunciate that P on the end. Uh, Couple of things that I do, or hints, tips, and suggestions that I would say. I actually had bought, uh, plastic sleeves, so I am going to put, each one of these albums, after I list it, in a plastic protective sleeve. And I bought these, I got about 20 cents a piece in them in the quantity that I had bought, because I had thought I'm gonna get into selling some vinyl. And so I just bought a small quantity to test the waters and see how it went. Uh, and so if I bought them in a bigger quantity, I could get that cost down, but about 20 cents a piece. Um, Jill bought the Disco Duck album on eBay. Does anybody remember the Disco Duck? Rick Dees in his cast of idiots. Um, but also, I would say, if you're going to sell vinyl, if you don't sell vinyl already and you are thinking about it, do yourself a favor and get some of these, the cardboard mailers that they go in. It makes it convenient, quick, easy. The album is secured in there. And if you're going to sell a lot of vinyl, just get some of those. In those, again, the small quantity that I bought, I have about a buck a piece in them. So, when I am so just a little less than a dollar. So, when I am selling an album, I kinda try to keep that in mind, that I've got at least, say, a buck and a quarter in supplies to actually ship it. I had also bought, sometimes you'll get some albums that are good that don't have an inside sleeve for some reason, and I bought some of these sleeves right here, paper sleeves, to put the album in, to help, secure it or keep it safe. And those, again, in the quantity were about 20 cents. So I might have, 40 if I have to do that. And so I keep that in mind when I am pricing stuff, or that some of that cost is going to come off of the final sale price. Good morning, Danny. Good to have you here. Hey, Ken and everyone from the Pequot Resellers, another Ohio native right there. The And there's, when you talk to different folks about selling albums, shipping albums, whatever, there's a lot of different people in different camps of, um, how you ship them. Do you have it in the sleeve, the album in the sleeve, out of the sleeve? Do you reinforce the cardboard? There's your mileage may vary. Do what works best for you. I got a lot of hints, tips, and suggestions from Larry Way Out One, who's usually in the chat sometimes. Um, Jimmy, he uses old cereal boxes, which is always a good plan for shipping a $50 album out. You want to put that in. Of course, I have plenty of Captain Crunch peanut butter and boxes that I could ship them in. But get some cardboard sleeves. It just makes it simple. This album right here, The Police, Synchronicity, from I don't know what year this came out. Well, let's see. 1983. There's those questions, and this album is only about a $10 album when it sells, which I think is just a shame because it is one of those. You ever hear like people go, "Oh, if you were stranded on a desert island and you could only take like 5 albums with you, what what would they be?" And this album is, in my opinion, is good front to back. Every track is great, and Every Breath You Take was on the charts for I don't know how many weeks. But this Police Synchronicity would probably be one of my 5 albums that I would take to the island. If throw down in the chat there if you have some top albums. Um, um, Good morning, Nana. How are you today? And there is Lisette as well. Good morning, beautiful people. And there's Happy Horse right there. Good morning. That's my buddy John. Good morning, John. Good morning, Tammy, if you are watching. Beatles' White Album, Nana says that she would take to a deserted island with her. Jimmy would you attempt to swim if you had to listen to the Police Synchronicity every day or just to get back to civilization? It's but yeah, that I think Tom Petty, Southern Comforts, would be an album that I would take. Um Paul Simon's Graceland is a great album. I would definitely have something by the Beatles, probably like a Beatles, a greatest hits, something that got a lot of really cool songs. All their top stuff. Might be some Elvis in there for sure. Might have an Elvis. I'm not sure that fifth spot, um, what that would be for sure. Maybe somebody can sway me in my decision. Um, Corey would bring a sandwich. Always a great idea. You get tired of eating coconuts and bananas, or I guess it depends on what island you're on. If you're an island where you catch crab and lobster, oh man, that would be great. Just dive out there, get you some fresh lobster. I had lobster yesterday. I went to Red Lobster. It was my folks' anniversary, 56 year anniversary. And so the whole family went out. So they'll be watching this. So happy belated anniversary. But the whole family went out to Red Lobster last night and had man, just a great dinner. It was good. Can see the headlines now. Man drowns trying to swim ashore with record player and records. Get one of these little mini compact ones. Paul Simon, hopefully we won't be stranded on that island together. Oh, come on now. Man, that album was great again. Um, Elton John. Anybody an Elton John fan? This was a greatest hits. Your Song, Daniel, Honky Cat, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and the hits just go on and on. Rocket Man, Benny, and the Jets. Can never forget the Jets when you're talking about Benny. But 10 to $15 for the Elton John. Jimmy's not liking Ken Island either. I'm not even going to go there. There was you go check out Penn Island if pennisland.com. Um, Donna Summer right here. Greatest hits on the radio. This is volumes 1 and 2, about 15 to 20 bucks. The cool thing about this, when you start to research records or albums or whatever, a lot of times they had things that were with them inside. And this is a 2-album set, and it still has the original poster that came with it. So as you're looking up your listings, well, I'm not going to open this all up, but this poster looks like this cover of this. If you needed a Donna Summer poster, maybe I'd take this album and I could hang my Donna Summer poster on a palm tree, and then I'd have something to look at, in my lonely nights, listening to my Synchronicity album. But yeah, this was a 2-album set, and it has the poster. Still not a high dollar, 15 to 20 bucks, but I'll take that again on albums that I got for free. Elton John, Nana Tink says she likes some Elton John with her greatest hits, maybe. Yeah, definitely. See, as you start to hear other things, Def Leppard Hysteria would be an awesome album to have on an island. Yeah, I'm not even trying to come home. I'm just sitting on the island, soaking up the sun and listening to some tunes. Wang Chung. This is from the To Live and Die in LA soundtrack. 15 to 20 bucks right there. This cover is in really good condition. Got a little bit of stuff right there, but the album was pristine. Here's a band I've never heard of. The SOS Band, Sands of Time. This is about a $20 album, 15 to 20 bucks. Really good condition on this. And I started to say earlier too, Larry Way Out One. He's a big record seller, record collector, record aficionado, and he helped me out when I first was looking at selling some albums with kind of how to do a little bit of the condition, how to do some of the things that I could put in my listing to help either attract things or give buyers some information so that you're not getting a bunch of questions about them. Jimmy Eat World, Bleed American, and the Notorious B.I.G. Ready to Die. Yeah, maybe you could live on the other side of the island, Jimmy. Maybe it's be a big enough island that your tunes wouldn't bleed over. I have not heard of the SOS band, Lisette. I believe when I looked this up, they were sort of a funk band, and I do not know, but I was surprised to see that it's about 20 bucks. So I'm a big SOS band fan now. Oh yeah. Well, I don't need the whole Hanson album, just Mbop. If I was on the island with only one song that I could ever listen to, it would probably be Mbop by Hanson, the greatest song ever written. Here's a $30 album right here. Ambrosia 180. I don't know why, but 20 to 30 bucks right there when I come. It still has partial plastic on it. But the cover is in pretty good shape and the album is really good. So that was kind of the stack of little higher dollar ones. I wanted to talk a little bit about like, let's say in this collection right here, bang my mic, you got Heart. Dreamboat Annie, which in itself is about 15 to 20 bucks. But there was also, there's another Heart, Dog and Butterfly, and there's another Heart, whatever this one's called. I think it's just Heart. And here's Heart, Bad Animals. I will probably group these up as a lot anytime I have like artists and there's not like a real high dollar item. You can group those up by artist. Just like these Journey ones. These are kind of common. A lot of these Journey Departure, Journey Evolution, and Journey Raised on the Radio. Now I comped this one first. It's about maybe 10 bucks, but I can probably go 25 or so, maybe even close to 30 on the lot of Journey albums. So I will photograph them and list them all together as a lot, and that helps increase the value for somebody that's a Journey fan that wants to build up their collection. Yes, Journey has great cover art. Now those are albums right there um that people might want to, frame, hang on their wall, put with their collection. um and so, the cover on something like this, something that's known for cover art, might you want to really make sure that the covers are in good shape. And always, just like with anything you're listing, always be honest, fair, and upfront with your descriptions, your titles, and your photographs. If there are marks or something bad, if there's a possible scratch on the album or whatever, just make sure to list it. Never try to get one over on a customer. uh Yes, Nana likes Journey. Jill's taking John Denver albums. I like me some John Denver. Uh, Freestyle, can't forget that. It's a Puerto Rican. You're a Puerto Rican from New York, so that is on your radar. Not. Let me see. Back up here. I can't be stranded with just 5 albums. She loves music too much. Country, disco, jazz, rap, salsa, R&B, all types. Rock don't make me choose, or all types of rock don't make me choose. Yeah, it would be very hard if you had to come up with that top 5. Hey, if Paul Philly Flipper and or Ray is still listening, that might just be a Monday night draft, top 5 albums to take on a deserted island. Everybody has all different tastes, and so we would say, of course, I get dibs on Hanson if I'm on the show. Um, Steve Perry. Steve Perry is the real Journey. Yeah, not the new singer. Although that kid sounds really good. I love Steve Perry. Steve Perry's pants are too tight. That's how he hits the high notes, with those tight pants. I agree, Lisette. I listen to all styles. If one were to get a hold of my playlist, like that's on my phone, they're like, "The heck's wrong with this dude?" Listening to every all of those different styles of music that rock, and my go-to is probably 80s hair metal. Um, but and then also early 80s new wave music is things like Devo and man, I can't even think of anything when I'm on the spot right here. Uh yes, Hanson is the Smarties of the music world. That's a good way to put that. I need another drink here. And what else we got over here? I got some Billy Joel back there. I got some Genesis. This album right here, A Trick of the Tail. by Genesis. That's about a 25 to $30 album, but I still have to look it up a little bit because there seems to be different versions that came out on it, and it's a gatefold. This is what's called a gatefold um, single album, but has all the lyrics on there. I'm not sure why this one there's different values, and so there'd be like, $5 on one, the next one sold for 50, but I think there were a couple different covers on this. Another Genesis, and then Genesis Invisible Touch. Again, I'll look into those. I might sell those as a grouping. But it's just interesting, and so I will talk about um let's and see Lisette here. Some days you'll work out with rap, and some days to show slow jams. Yeah, it all depends. Yeah, exactly. Jilly Joel and Genesis. Love me some Phil Collins in the air tonight. Yes, yes. Doo-doom, 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 doo-doom. That's what everybody knows. I saw a video once. Phil Collins kid was in high school, and he had like a high school band. Um, and just young kids. And he had Phil Collins actually came in. They were doing like a talent show or something like that. And Phil Collins came in and sang in the air tonight for his kids, like, little garage band. And they were musically okay. You could tell they were, just starting out. But how cool is that? That, you're a high school garage band and you get Phil Collins to come in and sing lead for you on a song. Yeah, Jimmy made a killing selling early 80s heavy metal. Death metal LPs paid $3 each and is selling them at 50 to 120 each. Yeah, there are in the right genres. A lot of these, as you can see, are probably, 80s pop stuff. I have a ton of records still down here beside me, ones that I had looked through that really didn't have any value to it. There's not a lot of people out there looking for McGuffey Lane these days. I'm sure there's somebody out there. There's a buyer for everything, as we all know, selling on eBay. But that is the reason that I am selling albums, I think after my plush experiment and sales go off in March. Like I said, I'm doing that January, February, March. I'm going to do vinyl as my next category that I set aside as a special, like probably again, travel fund for all the things that I'm going to do this year that I have plans to do anyway. And so what I'm going to start doing is listing a lot of this vinyl, throwing it in with my regular daily listing to number one, help build in that category, plus get some activity in that category. And maybe get some repeat buyers or somebody to follow my store that sees some of that and wants to make multiple purchases later on. So I'm going to start listing some of this vinyl for that reason, to help build on that algorithm, help build on, um, just getting the listings up. So when I do switch over to that category and I start to run more of those sales and, listing more in that category, that is, um, that's the plan to go with vinyl as the next one. Jill loves McGuffey Lane. Haven't found any 80s metal yet. Yeah, those are good. Now, again, I talked last week. My dad has a huge record s- uh, collection or whatever over there, and I know that there's maybe not a lot of '80s metal bands, but there's lots of classic rock, lots of of really good stuff that I have to dig into there. Hey, I threw the link in there into the chat. If anybody wants to join me on the show here for the last few minutes, just to say hey, say what they're up to. The only LPs that we're seeing around here are, yeah, classic opera and some country. Yeah, lots of old country that's out there. And good morning to Chris Cage and Reseller. And hey to everyone in the chat. I think Chris has some family in from out of town. Hopefully you're enjoying your visit with them. And so today on the Ken versus 10, I'm going to be listing. I've comped some of this stuff. Of course, I had those values right there. And I got to take some photographs, and I'm going to pick through, 10 of the best. I'm going to try to get the 10 best of what I have listed, and see if I can't make some sales, see if I can't win this thing next week. I tied 5-5 last week on the show. And so hopefully, if anybody out there is selling vinyl, of course, most of the people that watch the show here are seasoned resellers and or pickers. In Jill's case, she's getting to be a seasoned picker out there. Uh-oh. Trouble in the Cajun household. Both little ones had diarrhea this morning. So maybe the visit isn't as going as planned. Here we go. We've got Lisette popping in. She looks like she
How are you? It's Thursday motivation to get your butts up and work out. How are you?
I'm good. I see a lot of your motivational stuff. You're out there doing those workouts every day.
I'm trying. I'm down 10 pounds, so we'll see.
Yes. So what do you got coming up? Anything exciting?
Well, I got approved to sell on Amazon and deactivated at the same time.
Oh, really? Approved and deactivated at the same time.
So I got my code in the mail, and I was so happy. I set everything up, but I think they just need a bill with my address and stuff, and it should be good.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm doing global shipping now on eBay. I made my first global shipping sale, so I was pretty happy.
Excellent.
Just listing, getting rid of that money mountain.
Great. Yeah, that's good. Moving right along, and you're enjoying your eBay adventure. I know you're primarily a posh girl, but you're doing well with your eBay.
I am. So it's
good.
Slowly slipping up there, very close to Poshmark now. So.
Excellent. Which platform do you foresee eBay taking over your Poshmark sales, or the majority of your attention towards sales?
Yeah, I can see it. Definitely.
Yeah, because
especially with the global shipping.
Yeah, that's I've been doing that for a while. Actually, I don't know if Nana Tink is still in here. When I first was going to do international shipping, Nana, I reached out and she really helped me, kind of work through some of that stuff. Which is what's great about the community. Oh, she's gone. I wanted to talk real quick about when I'm listing these albums, because I'm going to list a bunch of them. And now with the winter update from the winter update that eBay made, they have now scheduled listings are free. You no longer get a fee. I think it was only like 10 cents before. But so I will list a bunch of these, and I will schedule listings or keep them in drafts so that I can just drop some in with my regular listings each day. And there she's back.
Sorry, I'm not used to doing it on my phone, and I'm trying to look at the chat. So I'm sorry I can't see the chat.
They are. Yep, Jill was. Oh, about that was about Chris's little ones that have diarrhea. Uh,
Oh,
but Jill did say, "Nice job, Lisette. Rocket."
I appreciate that.
So,
Does Jill have
I
an
think. Do I? I'm sorry.
Does Jill have an Instagram?
She does. It is it's the Kacherka 25. It's KCERKA, which is Serbian for daughter. Her heritage is Serbian,
Oh,
and
okay.
so Kacherka is the way that you would say daughter in Serbian, and because she said it's the only role in her life, that she didn't choose or whatever. You are a daughter, and very close to her father, and she was her father's daughter for sure. And so
Okay. I gotta make sure I follow her.
so I think I am going to wrap up this edition of the show. So thank you, Lisette, for popping in. Keep on with that motivation and those workouts and eBay and everything. So
All right, I'm gonna pop out. Have a great day, guys.
all right. Have a good day, you too. So that is going to wrap it up for another episode of Ken versus 10. I appreciate everybody that was here in the chat. Hopefully, you saw some good music, maybe learned a little bit about, the way that I do the process of vinyl. Going to get some of these listed and see if we can beat the death pile this week. So until next Thursday, well, which I'll be live, but Monday, look for that episode of the Reseller Clickbait podcast with me and Jimmy Old School Flips. Go follow his channel, like and subscribe every one of his videos, like and subscribe every one of our videos, and I appreciate that. And if you hit the thumbs up on your way out on this video, that would be great. So we will catch you next week on Ken versus 10. See ya.